Henry with Mr. Quik out of Indianapolis, Indiana here. We're going to go through what different breakers are. So looking in this 100 amp panel here, we have certified Eaton breakers throughout the whole panel. This is your most standard type of breaker, will either be a Homeline Square D or an Eaton, and today we are looking at Eatons. There are different brands within Eaton though. So how you determine what kind of breaker you have is by looking at the back of the breaker. So this is a tap-in breaker right here, which means these little connects slide in the back and then this pushes in. The different type of breaker that you would see is two prongs coming off of here, which would be called a snap-in, and then you would see a GFI snap-in, which is where you're going to have a button on the front of it to where you can reset that breaker right there on itself and trip it. GFI breakers are usually used in wet locations, so such as kitchens, washers, outside for pool equipment is a must. There is certain codes within your area that you have to meet. So always checking to make sure that you have the right equipment for the right area is a big plus. So going through how a breaker works now. A breaker, obviously you turn it off and you turn it on right here with a simple prong. You do have double pull breakers and single pull breakers. They both work the same way. When it is flipped outside, it is off. When it is flipped towards the inside of the panel, it is on. So looking at your breaker now past that, when you turn off of a breaker, it is a spring inside of it that is connected to a metal bar, and it presses down and stops the currency running through that breaker from the metal in the back. When you turn it on, it releases that spring and shoots the power back through the wire. Whenever you are looking at inside of your panel at your main breaker panel here, you always want to make sure that you just have one wire plugged into a breaker. Now there is two differences here, that you will have two wires plugged into a double pull breaker. So this top one right here, if you see how this bar is connected, that's what makes it a double pull 30 on the front. So you will have a bar at the bottom for a main lug there and a bar at the top. So two wires connected to this one breaker throwing out the power that it needs to have. And then you go to the next one and you can tell it how it only has one wire connected to it. So you can turn that on and it is controlling just that one wire. Either way, on each set screw, you should only have one wire on each set screw. If not, that means you are overloading a circuit and throwing power to more than what that breaker can hold. And if a breaker is double tapped within your home, the results and consequences of that down the road is that you will end up shorting out that wire, which will drive the cost up on replacing that wire, replacing the breaker itself. Even if you don't have the room for it, always call out your electrical pro to see what they can do for you, because there's several different options on changing out to where you don't have double tap breakers anymore.